everyone, it's Adia and I am back with another video. So today we'll be reading threads about people's experience with giving critiques or people just pushing their opinions on their art. So yeah, really mostly with like professors or teachers that people have had, because I've heard a lot of stories where professors just are ripping people apart for no reason, or people getting extremely discouraged because of art teachers that they had in high school that just basically said that their art is dog water, and then they never picked up a pencil or a paintbrush ever again, which is like kind of crazy. But that teacher was just projecting on you. If your art teacher told you that you're not talented or good enough to be an artist, please don't listen to them. I hear this story way too often. They are just a person. Who cares what they think? Who cares what they think if you like what you're doing? There's no bad art, just different taste. Clock it. And then there's like a bunch of comments underneath that I'll be reading. And someone said, I started painting to prove wrong my, I think they meant to prove my high school teacher wrong, who told me I was crap. Damn. Being told that you were crap's crazy. Told me that I was crap, and I think she's dead now, but I'm pretty sure her ghost is watching me paint, so I guess I'll take that to suffice. Okay. Yeah. She better be turning and sick looking at your art because it's so good now. Yelled at in kindergarten for not doing an art project the right way. It took the pandemic to get me back into creativity. Almost 50 years. That is crazy. A kindergarten teacher? You know, sometimes I see like really, really, really mean kindergarten teachers. It's like, why are you a teacher if you don't like kids? Like, it's very apparent that you don't like kids, and now you're sitting there yelling at a kid because they're not doing it right. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But low-key, I kind of felt that because I picked art back up during the pandemic. I was one of those people that went on like a major hiatus for other reasons. No one really said anything that like made me stop. I think it was just like my situation that made me stop. I was 40 plus years old when a PhD in art told me I had real talent. Floored me because I've never gotten professional validation before. Not gonna lie, it hits different. Wow. I'm like kind of curious. They must have gotten a ton of bad feedback that wasn't like helpful. There's nothing worse than like critiques that aren't helpful, but sometimes some people just don't want to hear critiques, and that's when you kind of have to, I don't know. I think being an art professor is a hard job because like you're there to give critiques, but sometimes people don't want to hear critiques. Same happens in all artistic endeavors. So many great actors and musicians were told to get a different line of work and then get angry and more motivated to prove those people wrong. That's exactly what I do. If a professor tells me that my art is shit, let me tell you, I'm gonna make you eat your goddamn words. Okay? My art is shit? Alright. Okay. Watch. You'll be looking up to me. Maybe that's just ego speaking, but like, yeah, I will definitely like, I'll make you eat your words because there's no way you're gonna say that dumb ass shit to me. Yes, it's a shame, but it does happen. I was lucky my art teacher saw my talent, but I have had other teachers that were horrible and made me hate the subject. I can kind of agree. I've only had like one bad, I don't know, I don't really get that offended, so there's a lot of stuff that doesn't bother me, but I've definitely heard comments from like the same professors that I thought was cool from like for other people's art. I'm like, damn, like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna make you eat your words because there's no way you sat up here and did that. Erased her work and then started to sketch it back on. No, I would trip out. Okay, stop. Let me stop. I'm an art teacher and I believe everyone can be an artist. You don't need talent. It depends on how much effort you want to put into your craft to continue improving and your willingness to listen to criticism. You know, I agree with that. That's why I was saying like sometimes people just don't want to hear criticism. I'm always pretty much I'm always open to criticism, but sometimes you just have to like let me cook and then you could come back and like tweak some things. Or if you see me struggling, like for the most part I'm pretty open to criticism. But this person, they ate. I'm not gonna lie. I just think telling someone that they're freaking dog crap is like not going to make them, well, it depends on the person, but I feel like majority of people, it's going to hinder their progress. If you say that to me, I'm gonna make you eat your words. And then now that's my life's mission, to make you eat your words. Now here's another thread. Someone said, "Hey artist, what's the worst advice an art teacher or mentor ever gave you?" My graphic design professor once told me that I didn't know how to communicate and that I would be a failure as a designer. Ooh. I always hear that the graphic design professors are like crazy. Like they want nothing but perfection, which is like, there's no such thing as perfection. So like asking for it is like, let me see your work before you're asking for my perfection. And then after that, someone said it's almost like it was the teacher's job to show you how to communicate visibly, which is, how are you gonna tell me? And then like, oh, I just cannot stand unhelpful criticism. Like just because you suck at your career doesn't mean I'm gonna suck at my career. There's only one approach to drawing. Yeah. That person was setting you up. That is kind of crazy. There's only one approach to drawing? Like, what type of comment is that? Some of these, I'm a little taken back. Like, that's kind of crazy. Our fine art photography teacher told us not to expect a future in photography and expect we'll have to do a few shots to get anywhere. I didn't listen to anything she said after that. What are you even supposed to say to that? Like, maybe that's what their teacher had to do, but like, don't expect a future in photography. I feel like photographers are always needed. Like graduations, there's a ton of graduations, weddings, I don't know, brand stuff. Like there's so much like need in photography, and for someone to be like, "Oh, well, you'll have a job in the porn industry." Like, is that okay for you too? In the corn industry, like, I think I'm, oof. Honestly, one piece of bad advice doesn't make a teacher bad. We are all imperfect. Some advice is good for one individual and bad for another. We often don't know the full story. As long as we still learn and keep enjoying / making art, it's all good. Okay. You know what? That's valid. Because I've definitely had some professors give me like advice and just like, I don't like, I still think they're a good professor. I just, particularly that comment, I didn't agree with. And usually me and the professor will fight about it, be like, no. And it's like, okay, what? You're gonna change it? And then sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, because no, I don't agree with that and I don't see what you're saying, so I'm not gonna do it. And then someone said, I totally agree with this. A lot of the bad advice people have shared strike me as bad, maybe for the individual, but not bad in general. There's a lot of simplistic advice that is geared towards beginners. I don't think it's helpful to hand out blanket rules like don't use black without further explanation, but it is advised that it is meant to help the student avoid specific common pitfalls. Teaching is complicated. It's a craft just like painting. Okay, I can agree with that. That's true. I don't really like being told like not to do something unless like I kind of need like information. It's not really about like if I think they're credible, it's that if it makes sense in my head and that I have the information to back up that this is right. I don't know if that makes sense, but you need to lower your sales goal. Oh, maybe you're not selling. How, you know what? Skip. My high school art teacher told me, "You got it, kid. Now make me proud." He pushed me to crank out artwork because I wanted to be an illustrator at the time. He was preparing me for the amount of work required. It was my fault how I interpreted this, not his. And this is the beginning of my ego, which drove me to perfectionism, which today gives me anxiety that my work isn't up to par and never good enough. I'm working to fix it. Cracking out work is, well, like you know what? I actually get it because they're preparing you. That's why sometimes when I hear people who want to be like animators and work in Japan, and I'm just like, so you do realize you're not gonna have a work-life balance, right? They're constantly on strike, and they're just like, no, like it's fine. I'm just like, it's not fine. Like, They don't go home. I haven't had a teacher. I learned mostly from videos and analyzing work of other artists whose work I admire. But some of my friends laughed at me when I told them my dreams about being an artist, and I proved them wrong. Laughing at you is crazy. Let me tell you, we're not friends no more. If you're gonna sit here and laugh at me, oh, that's like, honestly, that might be a little bit more painful than like what a professor has to say, because like you're not like this was your professor, but you're like this was your friends. So it's like prove them. Yeah, good that you proved them wrong, and I sure hope you're not friends with them no more, because that's crazy. Any of my friends were just like, well, that's a. I think any of the people that I was around, I was just like, oh well, like that's not gonna happen. Guess what? I'm not friends with them no more. Your work is too literal. Here, look at this scrunched up piece of paper and see if you can guess what the artist is trying to say. I mean, like, I kind of get it. No. No. I think sometimes people just want the message to be straightforward. I don't really think there's a problem with that, in my opinion. I think that teacher was just looking for you to create some more depth to your work, I guess. Okay, so I will do one more and then, yeah. So the worst advice was just do it like everyone else. You'll be successful. That was the last time I went to that class. If you can't be you in your art, then it's not your art. Be happy in what you do. Be you. Just be like everybody else. Oh, no. No, 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 no. This is why every time like a professor gives me like a still life, I gotta make it weird. I gotta add something. Like I gotta add a galaxy. I don't know. I gotta just make it put me on the canvas. Yeah. Anyway, if you guys have made it this far into the video, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know if you guys would like to see a part 2 to this video. Anyway, bye y'all. Oh wait, I need a thumbnail.